A very warm welcome to the sixth recitation, which is Introduction to JavaScript. I hope everyone is keeping safe and doing really well this semester. So before we start the recitation, I want to give a gentle reminder to watch the previous recitation videos and submit the Google quiz forms if you haven't done so. And make sure that whenever you submit your assignments, write the honor code statements in the submissions. Otherwise, the assignments won't be graded. Also, you can find the recitation files and all the other reading documents for the recitation under the file section on Canvas. If you go under recitation information under my name, Jayashree Damala, you can find the presentations under the respective recitation folders. Also, you can find the Google link forms inside the presentation itself. So let's get started with the recitation. And the objective of this recitation is to introduce JavaScript, create some programs, and look into the debugging technique. The topics that we will be covering today is the overview of JavaScript. Then we will move on to creating two JavaScript programs and also look into debugging. So now let's just get started. First thing, let's try to understand why do we even need JavaScript and what it is exactly. So JavaScript is a text-based programming language, which is used both on the client side and the server side, and it allows us to make the web pages more interactive. So it's like HTML, CSS are the languages that give structure and style to the web pages. But then JavaScript is the actual real hero that gives these web pages interactive elements in a way to engage the user. So this is what JavaScript is. And now we will move on to writing some programs right from scratch to try and understand how this exactly works. So let's see. We have the first program, and just to save some time, I've already given the template, which is called shell.html on Canvas. So you can directly go to Canvas under the file section, under recitation information, under my name. You can see the recitation 6 folder where you can find the shell.html file. So all you have to do is download the file and just save it as whatever you want to name it. You can even name it my first JS program .html on your computer or your laptop. So after you do that, just open the file and keep it ready because we are going to make changes to the file. And let's see what the problem statement is. So the problem statement is that somebody is trying to buy 2 cars for his company and needs to find out the total price. So we know that HTML cannot perform calculations and we need something to perform this calculation. So here he needs to find the total price. It's going to be the addition of the prices of the 2 cars. So this is where JavaScript comes in, and JavaScript will be used to perform this calculation. Now, what we do is, let's just open the file. And while I code, I would request everyone to code along with me because that way you'll understand it much better. And feel free to pause anytime during the recitation video and try to code it on your own, and then come back to the video and continue it as in when you feel like it. So let's see how this is how the shell.html file is. So it has a basic template with the HTML tags, the head tag. The head tag has a title which says my first JavaScript program, and then you have the body tag. So we are going to start writing our content inside of this. So first of all, you can see that I have written a piece of code which is on the bottom right side inside like the body tag. So with over here, as you can see, it's the script tag which says where Ford is something, then where GM is something. So let's just write this code first, and I will also explain what this is doing. So over here, you can see that Ford and GM are 2 variables. And that's why the keyword var is written before them. Okay, so these are the 2 variables. And then we have another variable, which is total price. and it stores the sum of the two prices. And also notice that there is a semicolon used after writing each sentence, right? So you have var for equal to some value, and then there's a semicolon. When you move on to the next statement and you complete it, there's a semicolon again. So the semicolon in JavaScript is used to separate statements. Simple statements in JavaScript are generally followed by semicolon character, just like it is done in like other languages like C, C++, Java. JavaScript, however, it does allow you to omit this semicolon if each of your statements are placed on a separate line. But what I would say, it is always a good programming practice to use the semicolons. So be sure that you use them. So let's do one thing. Let's write the script tag under the like whatever is written here. Just let's write it. So let's go. We have the body tag. Inside the body tag, we can have a script tag. I hope everyone is, coding along with me, because this will be really helpful for you guys too. So we write the script tag, and then inside the script tag, we have the first, which is variable food. Okay, and we write 18 to 75. Then we have another variable GM, which is 19 by 35. And then we have total price, which is equal to 4 plus GM. Okay, so we have written it exactly as it was given over here. Now what we do is, let's go and open this file and try to view it on the browser and see what happens. So I have saved it. I go to the browser and I cannot see any. So basically we were trying to find the total price of the two cars, right? So it should have been displayed, but nothing is being displayed right now. So there is definitely something wrong and we need to figure that out. So the first thing is that the reason this happened and we could not see anything like any output was because JavaScript was never told to display the result on the screen. Like if we go back to our code, we can see that there are like quite a few mistakes in the code that we wrote actually. The first thing is that we did not assign total price as a variable, whereas it should have been declared as a variable, right? So like we had for and GM as variables and we wrote the keyword var, but for total price, we did not write it. So that was the first mistake that we did. Let's do one thing. Now that we've pinpointed what the mistake is, let's go and change it. So I will just write var total price. I think that's where we debugged one of the errors that we did. Then moving on, there's one more thing that we're actually missing out. So when you want to display any result on the web page, you need to tell the code to display the result. Okay, so for that we need to call a function which is called alert. Now alert is when the web page knows that, okay, now I have to display this on the website. So we need to display the total price, right? So we'll have to write alert total price, and this should help us display what the result is. So looks like we have kind of debugged the code. Let's go and try to run the code again. So, okay, still we don't get any result. So probably something is wrong. Another way of debugging is you can go to the settings and under more tools and developer tools. Here you can see on the console, you can see it's written uncaught syntax error, unexpected number, and it says shell.html on the 8th line. Okay, So basically what this means is that there is some error which is on the 8th line of the shell.html file, and the error is it's an unexpected number. Okay, so let's go back to our code and try to see what is there in the 8th line, and it's saying unexpected number. So now the reason that this is happening is because over here the mistake that we have done is we have entered the number with formatting, which is not allowed. We are not allowed to put any dollar signs or commas when we write a number. So what we have to do is we just have to fix it by removing these commas and then save it. And now let's try to go and run the program. And here we go. We actually get the answer, which is 37810. This is the total price of the 2 cars. So we saw that we can also use the developer tools web console to try and understand what the error is and why we are not getting an output, because it explicitly states that which line has an error and what error is it exactly. Let's try to just make it a bit more pretty. Let's change the alert statement to the total price is dollar this. And whenever you write the alert statement and you want some like your own text and some variable to be printed, they are mentioned using the plus sign. So you have to use the plus sign to be able to concatenate the sentence and your variable together. So I will just save this and I will go back and try to run the program, and you can see it says the total price is $37810. So this is what the initial program of JavaScript is. Let's go through it once again, and I hope that you guys were coding along with me and you all understood it better. So this is a basic HTML template, okay, which has the HTML tag, it has the head tag. Inside the head tag, we have the title tag, and then we have the body tag. And inside the body tag, we wrote our actual JavaScript code, which can do calculations. So basically, the user wanted to know the total price of 2 cars, and the 2 cars were Ford and GM. So we made 2 variables, one for Ford and one for GM, and we assigned it values, which is the price of the car. Then we created another variable, total price, which would be the addition of Ford and GM. Then once we have done the calculation, we need to display the calculation. For displaying the calculation, we use the alert keyword. The alert keyword inside the alert function, we can write a sentence that we want and then concatenate it with the variable that we want to output. So that's what is done. And also make sure that you use the semicolons after writing each sentence in JavaScript. So that's what was about the first program that we were trying to do. Now, we can make some changes into what we're doing. Like now we know we got the total price, right? Let's try to take it a step up and try to add an if statement to the code. Okay, so let's have a condition that says if the total cost of 2 cars is greater than $30,000, then the car dealer will give them a discount of $1,000. So we have found the total price. Now we have to use a if statement to get the total price after the discount. So let's go back to our code, and over here we have found the total price. Okay, now let's write the if statement. So writing the if statement is really simple. You just have to write the keyword if, and then inside the square brackets you have to write what the condition is. So the condition was the total price is greater than 30,000. So total price is greater than 30,000. And if it was greater than 30,000, then you get a discount of $1,000. So you write curly brackets. So if, then in circular brackets, you write the condition. Then inside the curly brackets, you write what statement has to be carried out if that condition is met. So we write discount is equal to 1000 with a semicolon. Now remember, discount is a new variable and we're giving it some values. So we should declare the variable also. So we should write variable discount and then just initialize it to 0. Okay. Now if the total price is greater than 30,000, then the discount is equal to 1000. Okay. And obviously the total price will change. So you will have total price equal to total price minus discount. So we have already set the discount to be 0. So in case the total price is not greater than 30,000, then you won't just a discount. So it's going to be total price minus 0. In case if you do get the discount, then it'll be total price minus 1000. And then finally, you can alert, that is, you can display the output of the total price. So let's try to save this, and you also save your files and go and try to view it and see if it works. Let's go and see. And there we go. We can see that now the total price is reduced by $1,000 because the discount was input now. So this is how you can add the if statements also when you are writing code in JavaScript. I hope that you guys were also able to code it down and the programs are running as they're supposed to run. So with this, I think the program 1 is complete. I think we can move on to the next program. What we'll do is we'll use the first program as a guide, and we will create, if you want, just create another file. You can name it as my second JS program or whatever you want to name it. And let's try to solve another problem statement. So let's see what this problem says. It says that an electronics store has a promotion and is offering a 12% discount for its UHD TV set. So now a customer is interested in a TV set. So the customer is interested in a TV set whose price is 2000 and the store is located in New Jersey. So a 7% sales tax will apply to the discounted price. Now we have to calculate the final price to be paid by the customer, and the program should display the final output. Okay, so what the problem statement says is that there's a store, it has a discount of 12% on its TV sets. Now a customer is interested in buying one of the TV sets and it costs $2,000. And because it is in New Jersey, you have a 7% sales tax, which will also be applied to the discounted price. So you have $2,000 of TV set on which you have a 12% discount. And now on the discounted price, you have a 7% sales tax. You just have to find out how much the final price is being paid by the customer. So when you think about this problem, before we start to code, it's always a good idea to figure out what strategy should we follow to code it. So the first thing that should come to our mind should be to create the variables and to assign values to them based on the data that we have. So here we have the first variable, which we know is the discount. So discount variable, and it will have the value 12%. Then you have the next, that is the price of the TV. So that'll be the next variable. And we'll give it the value of 2000 because it's already mentioned in the problem statement. Then you have the tax. So tax is also another variable, and we will give it the value 7%. Now these three variables are what are explicitly given to us in the problem statement. Now we have to find the discounted price. That is the price after putting the discount on the original price of the product. So we will have one more variable, which is discounted price. And then we'll have one more variable, which will be the final price. That is what we want to output. So we have to do two calculations. First is we have to find the discounted price, and then we have to find the final price using that discounted price. Now, what we can do is that we can try to start coding this out. So let's go to our code document, and I will just try to make changes in this file itself. Feel free to create another file and code along with me. Okay, so first of all, let's change the title. It is my second JavaScript program. Okay, and let's try to do one thing. Like, there was one thing that I would like to mention, that so there is a meta character set of UTF-8, and it is better to add it in the header section, because what this basically does is that it is related to character encoding related information, and sometimes you might get an error regarding this. So it's like we won't get an error, but you'll get a warning that says that there is an absence of a meta character set. So just by adding this one line, if you ever get that warning, you can avoid it. I'll just show you how to write it. Under the head tag, you can just write meta char set equal to UTF-8. Yeah, you can just write that. And if you ever get warnings regarding character encoding, so this will solve those warnings also. So there's that. Now we move on to our body, and inside the body we have the scripts. So let me just remove this. Yeah, so now our script tag is empty, and we should, first thing that we thought of doing was to declare the variables. So let's declare the variables. We will write the keyword var. We start with the variable TV. Okay, then you have discount, then you have tax, then you have discounted price, and then final price. So these are the variables that we are going to be using. Now, out of all these variables, we already know the values of TV, which is 2000. Okay, don't forget the semicolon. Then we have the discount, which is 12%. So 12% is basically 12 divided by 100, so 0.12. So we will write it as 0.12, that is discount. And tax is 7%, so we will write 0.07. So these are the three things that we already know. Now we will move on to doing the calculation. So the first thing we'll do is find the discounted price. Oops, I think I wrote the spelling wrong over here of discounted price. Yeah, that's better. So first we'll find the discounted price. Okay, so I hope everyone knows the discounted price is going to be the price of the TV into the discount. Okay, the entire thing then has to be subtracted from the original price of the TV. So this is what we're going to do. Please feel free to just pause the video over here and code up the calculations on your own, and then come back and check if you did it right. And but if you're not comfortable, you can also tag along with me and code right along with me. Okay, so we have the discounted price, which will be the original price of the TV minus the discount that we're getting. So that's going to be the price of the TV into discount. Okay, and then this will give us the discounted price, and then we have to find the final price. So the final price is going to be the discounted price into 1 plus the tax, right? It's basically the discounted price plus the discounted price into the tax. Because yeah, so the tax that will be there will be on the discounted price, so we'll just multiply it and then we'll add it to the discounted price value. Just making sure all the spellings are right. And yes, I think we're good to go. Now we have found all the calculations that we need. The last step is that we have to display it. So we will use the alert keyword to display, and we can write the final price is dollar something, and then I will use a addition plus sign and write final price. And don't forget to put the semicolons. Okay, so I think we have no errors. Hopefully, let's try to run the code and see if we do get any errors. So I will run the code and we get the final price as 1883.2. So a code ran successfully, and this is how we would code out in JavaScript if we have to do multiple calculations and deal with multiple variables. Okay, now this is done, but then there is it's not a problem, but the flexibility, we can talk about that, is that here we are already assigning values to the variables. But wouldn't it be better if the user can only input what the values should be? Like, instead of already telling the program that, okay, the price of the TV is going to be 2000 and the discount is going to be 12%, why can't we let the user decide what price of the TV, what discount, and what amount of tax he wants to put? So that will increase the flexibility a bit more. So for this, we don't have to do much because JavaScript has a function called the prompt function, which can make our life easier and which can take inputs from the user. Okay, and let's try to now use this prompt to get the user input. So we just have to we have to use the word prompt, and then we have circular brackets, and then we have to write enter the, like, if you want to get the price, you write enter the TV price. So that will be done. Let's go and try to code it now. So now you have the variable. So instead of writing 2000, we will write prompt enter the price of the TV. Get it? And a semicolon. Then for discount, do the same thing. So go ahead, just code it out, pause the video here, code it out for the prompts, and then come back and see you've done it right. So you'll write prompt, enter the discount as a decimal. And tax, we can write again, prompt, enter tax as a decimal. Okay, so now we have taken the prompts, but there's one thing that you guys have to note, that the prompt window was originally designed to receive text. So now over here we are receiving numbers. So there is a small change that we'll have to do, is that we have to multiply the prompts by the number 1 to ensure that the numbers that are entered are processed as numbers and not as text. Okay, so now we will just do 1 into the prompt, 1 into the prompt, 1 into the prompt. So this will basically ensure that we will have the input whatever is given by the user to be processed as numbers. Okay, and before, like, just a side note, we can you can put comments also, and the comments are given by double slashes, so you can just write calculating the price for a TV. So yeah, you can write comments using double slashes also in case if you ever need it in the future. So now I think we've done pretty much everything in this program. Let's go and try to run it and see if we can get the user input. And yes, so it says enter the price of the TV. So I will say 2000. Then it says enter the discount as a decimal. So we can write 0.12. And then it says enter tax as a decimal. So we will write 0.07. And we click on OK, and we get the final price similar as before, which is $1883.2. So this is how easy it is actually to take prompts from the user, and you just have to use the prompt function and you're good to go. Now let's do one thing. Let's go one step further, and like we did for the previous program, we added an if statement. So let's try to add an if-else statement here also to introduce a shipping cost. Okay, so we can have the conditions that if the discounted price is greater than $1,500, then a shipping cost of 10% is added. Otherwise, the shipping cost is 5%. So I will repeat it again. Basically, the condition is that if the discounted price is greater than 1,500, then a shipping cost of 10% is added. Otherwise, the shipping cost is 5%. So we just have to code the if and the else statement over here. So once we, so it's the condition depends around the discounted price, right? So once we find the discounted price, we can create an if else statement. And remember, I said for an if statement, you just have to write if, circular brackets, you have to write the condition. So that is discounted price is greater than 1,500, and then curly brackets, under which we will write the statement that has to be carried out in case the condition is met. So we'll say shipping will be equal to 0.10 into the discounted price. Now realize the fact that we have used a variable shipping, so it is important that we go over here and create a variable that is shipping. Okay, so don't forget to do that. So we have written the if statement. Now the next is the else statement, is similar. You have to write else. Here you don't need to mention the condition because if you've already mentioned the condition for else, so you just have to write curly brackets and the statement that will be carried if the else statement is there. So it will be the shipping will become 0.05 of the discounted price, right? So now we get the shipping cost also, and there will be a change in the final cost now. So you will have the discounted price plus the discounted price into tax, and along with this, you will add it with the shipping cost. Okay, so let's go and try this program. Let's go and try it. So you have the price of the TV. You have the discount is 0.12. If the tax is 0.07, and the final price is going to be 2059 because a shipping cost is also added. So that's why the price is also increased now. So this is how you can take inputs from the user by using the prompt function. Then you can have if else statement to condition what you want to do in the program. And I think it's pretty much easy, like everything is pretty straightforward as to what is happening. The calculations that are there JavaScript helps us to do those calculations also. So you can do addition, subtraction, we've seen multiplication. We can also do division. So JavaScript also helps us in that. So I think we saw the two problem statements that we have to. And now, yep, time to test your knowledge. So um, go to this Google link form and fill out the form. Very easy questions on JavaScript, and this will help ensure that you're marked present for the attendance. Thank you, and I will see you with the next recitation.